Yeah. So hello guys. So welcome to Blujay Technologies. This is a AWS DevOps, a master program on DevOps with AWS. So myself, I'm Hari. I'm having 12 plus years of experience. This course is related to DevOps, guys. So what are the instructor lead? Your instructor lead is something like so myself, I'm a Hari Cheruko. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. So this course is covered with DevOps with AWS guys. And so what I done my certifications, I'm a ITIL certified, I'm a Red Hat system administrator, I'm a Red Hat certified engineer, I'm a AWS solution architect associate, I'm a CKA certified also, certified Kubernetes administrator also. So so I have a 12 plus years of industry experience, guys. I'm a real-time employee and I'm passionate about the trainings also. Okay, so I have a YouTube channel, guys, Blujay Technologies. You guys can go through that Blujay Technologies YouTube and watch the and subscribe the channel, guys. Okay. Yeah. So, what are the prerequisites for a DevOps AWS, guys? What are the prerequisites to learn the AWS with DevOps? So, there is no specific prerequisites. Anybody who is passionate to quick start their career as a DevOps engineer and cloud practitioner can attend this program. A program knowledge. So, something like few of them are is thinking like so if the DevOps is related to coding. So, no programming knowledge, guys. Programming knowledge not mandatory for this course. Graduates, undergraduates, backend developers, web developers, non-IT background people also can attend this master DevOps program, guys. And who are working on the IT industry, something like as a tester, as a developer, as a as a IT engineer or a backup engineer, everyone can learn these guys because of so nowadays everyone is using AWS cloud and the DevOps tools also. Okay. Yeah, so DevOps with AWS, guys, the course outline. So what we will cover on this course, we'll cover on this course module. Module 1, Introduction to DevOps World. Module 2, Linux Operating System. Module 3, AWS Cloud. And Module 4, DevOps Tools. And Module 5, Real-Time Projects. And Module 6, Interview Guidance, guys. So what we will cover? So we will cover on these 6 modules. On the 6 modules, we will cover on this wise. So what is introduction to DevOps world? What is DevOps? Why DevOps? And the second one is Linux operating system. So why we need to why we need a Linux operating system, guys? So Linux operating system is so if you want to use any DevOps tool, definitely we need a Linux operating system because of all the DevOps tools are related to CLI, CLI guys. For that we need a Linux operating system. Okay, AWS cloud. So in this course, what we will discuss about the AWS cloud. So what we will cover? So we will cover the AWS cloud and so if you learn any one of the cloud, it will be very easy to understand the other clouds also and the DevOps tools. So what are the DevOps tools? What is DevOps? Why DevOps? We'll discuss today, guys. And the real-time projects also. So we'll discuss about the real-time projects to real-time projects and the interview guidance, mock interview, resume preparation, and interview preparation. We'll discuss in this class, guys. Okay. So module 1, what is DevOps? Why DevOps? DevOps lifecycle, SDLC, waterfall model, and agile methodology. So in the DevOps tools, like what we will cover, the DevOps tools overview, rules of DevOps engineer, working with Maven and GitHub, working with Jenkins and SonarQube, working with Docker, Kubernetes, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, and Terraform. We'll discuss the all the DevOps tools and integrate and so what is DevOps? We'll tell you guys. So what is DevOps? Why DevOps? DevOps lifecycle, SDLC, waterfall methodology, agile methodology. Right? So you already know the SDLC. Guys, does anyone knows what is SDLC? Satya, Jeffin, Venkatesh, Vineet. Does anyone knows?
Software development lifecycle.
Yeah, very good. So what is that? Software development life cycle. So software development life cycle is nothing but whenever we want to so we want to develop a software, definitely we need to follow the a procedure. That procedure is a SDLC, software development lifecycle. For example, you have a thought, you want to implement that thought. So for example, Zomato or something like a Swiggy. So these are the So food delivery apps. So Zomato, CU or something like a food app. These are the thoughts. They are implemented that thoughts and designed a software called as a Zomato or Swiggy or WhatsApp or a Facebook, right? So so what is SDLC? Software development life cycle. So whenever you have a thought, you want to implement that thought. So you need to follow the procedure called as a software development cycle. So in the software development life cycle, so what we need, so in the software development cycle, they are following a methodology is called as a waterfall methodology and agile methodology. So in the SDLC, like some for example, I will share you. Yeah. So what is this? So you have a thought, something like the thought is. So the thought is, so I want to create a application for the messaging purpose. What is that? A messaging. So you have a thought something like I want to create an application for the messaging purpose. So for that, so what you need, so you need a SDLC, right? SDLC software development lifecycle. What we need a requirement analysis, design, implementation, testing, and evaluation. Okay, yeah, I will tell you. Yeah. So what is that, guys? So if you want to develop a software, so if you want to develop a software, we need to follow the SDLC model. So we have two types of SDLC models. What is a waterfall model and a agile methodology? What is that? A waterfall methodology and a agile methodology. So waterfall methodology, analyze, plan, design, build, test, deploy. What is that? Analyze. First, we need to get the analysis or a requirement gathering. What are the requirement? For example, in the normal messages, we need to send the message body, something like the maximum characters is 254. And when we send a message, right, we don't know if the recipient is received the message or not. And the cost, the charges also high, something like per message 1 rupee. We need to spend the message for the 1 rupee. So I want to create a application for this messaging purpose, and I want to send it, I want to give it as a free. Okay, so for that purpose, I need to analyze. So I analyze the plan and plan. So plan is nothing but how we can develop this software. So what are the open source softwares? Open source means free of cost. So I have a thought, but I don't know, right? This thought is successful. Something like this thought is successful or not. So just you are trying you are trying to implement the software. So you are planning. So you need a we need to develop the code and everything, right? For that purpose we use the software, something like what are the open source and design how looks like something like a WhatsApp, right? Initially WhatsApp chat contacts, right? How we can design this application looks like, and the build is nothing but coding. So in which language we can use the code and to develop the code. And once we deploy the code, once we build the code, then we test the code, then we can deploy the code. So this is the waterfall model. What is that? This is the waterfall model. I will tell you guys. Yeah. So something like you are searching a website. So what is the website? So for example, web.whatsapp.com. So if you search the website, so where you are searching from, you are searching from a end user will search the a website from the a browser. Okay, browser or app. You will get the this is searching. You are searching the app from the browser. So you will get the WhatsApp app, right? You will get the WhatsApp page. So this page comes from where, guys? This page comes from where? Does anyone knows? So this page comes from. So for example, facebook.com. If you search in the browser www.facebook.com, so what it is showing? www.facebook.com. Yeah, so it is getting the page and it is asking the username and password. Username and password. Guys, so this page comes from where? Does anyone knows this page comes from? Where this page comes from? So if you don't know the technology, if you don't know the technology, the end user doesn't know the technology, right? So he is thinking like it comes from the internet, right? It comes from over the internet, but this page comes from the, so but this page comes from the, where this page comes from? Does anyone knows? This page comes from server. Where? This page comes from the server. This page comes from server. So in the server, they deployed the code. What that code? The code is, which code this is? This is a code. The code is whatsapp.jar, right? The web server. What is this? Web server. So in this web server, so what this is? Web browser. Web browser. So what this is a web browser and this is a web server. So if you want to get the pages from the web server, where we need to verify it, where we need to check it, we need to check it in the web browser. So right, this page is, this page, this WhatsApp or Facebook pages comes from the a web server. Where these pages are deployed, these pages are deployed in the web server. If you click the www.com, if you click the www.facebook.com, it will open the a a website page, something like a, you need to log into the page or a sign up page, right? This page comes from http or https, right? This page comes from https. So now we understood, right? So this code, who will build this code? Who will build this code? So initially, so what they are using? They are using the SDLC model. Which SDLC model they are using? They are using the waterfall model. What is that? So if you want to develop the software, we need to use the any one of the model. The model is nothing but a waterfall model. In the SDLC, they are using the waterfall model for to develop the software. What is that? To develop the software. So to develop the software, they can use the a waterfall model. They can use the a waterfall model, right? Yeah. So in the waterfall model, everything will be manual. What is that? In the waterfall model, everything will be manual, right? Yeah. What is this? So this is nothing but a, this is nothing but a storage, something like a repository. So repository. So in the repository, the code is stored in this repository. What this code? This code is whatsapp.jar, right? So whatsapp.jar. So for example, developers develop that code, right? Okay. What developers are doing? Developing the code. What developers are doing? Developing the code, right? Yeah. So for example, the developers are developing the code. Right. So what these are? These are developers. What these are? These are developers. Developers developing the code and push it to a repository. So they are using which language to develop the code? For example, they are using the a Java language, right? Java language. So they created a Java language. So these are the a development team. What is this team? So development team developed the developed the code. Okay, so this code is in .java code. So .java code. So what this web server? So for example, you wrote the code in the Java. Definitely what we need? So we need a Tomcat web server. What we need? We need a Tomcat web server for deploying the Java. But a Tomcat doesn't know .java. Tomcat knows only .jar or .var files. What is that? So .jar or .var files. The developer developed that code through .java. .java, right? We need to convert this .java to .var or .jar, right? .jar or .var, something like what this is. So this is the development team. Yeah. So development team develop the code. So .java, the .java code, but the Tomcat, the web server recognizes only the .jar or .var. So we need to convert this jar to .jar. So which tool we can use to convert this code? So we can use to convert this code tool. For example, Maven. What is that? Build tool. What is that tool? So build tool. So in the build tool, so what is the tool? The tool is named called as a Maven. What is the tool? Maven tool. So we can convert this from .java to .var or .jar. Is convert from .var or .jar. Yes. Who will do this? WhatsApp.jar. So this is the Maven tool is converted the tool from .var to .jar. .var .java to .jar. .jar. Right? Who will do this? So the development team will do this. So this is nothing but a integration. What this we call it as a integ. So we call it as a integration. What this is nothing but a integration. Okay. So integration. Who will do this? So the development team. Development team develop the code and build the code or integrate the code. Who will do this? The development team manually develop the code and manually build the .jar or var files. Okay. So what development team is doing? Now you understood, right? So development team, for example, a client. Client is asking, who is client? For example, so messaging purpose we are using. So So messaging purpose, a client is asked to create a software. What is that? Creating a software. So development team, what development team is understanding the client request. What is understanding the client request? We need to develop the website software. Based on the development programs, so and test the programs, keep code in the repository, then convert from .jar to .java to .jar or .var. So this is the work of a development team. Okay. So so once we develop that code, right? So where we need to deploy this code? We need to deploy this code on the server. So what this server? So for example, this server is a Linux server. What this server? This server is a Linux server. So for example, which Linux OS is installed? CentOS 9 or 7 or whatever it may be. So some Linux OS is installed. So right. So who will operate this Linux OS? Linux engineer. Who will operate this Linux OS? So Linux engineer. So Linux engineer will operate this Linux OS, right? Who is that? Linux engineer. So for example, if you are deploy if we deploy the application in the Windows server, who need Windows engineer we need, because of development team doesn't know how to operate the Linux operating system. Development team doesn't know how to operate the Windows operating system. So who will operate either Windows engineer or a Linux engineer? So those are nothing but a operation engineers. What those are? The name call it as a operation engineers. What those are? Yeah. So what those are? Those are the operation engineers. So operation engineer. Operation engineer is nothing but either Linux engineer or a Windows engineer or a Linux. Guys, these are the operation engineers. Operation engineers will take care the deployment. What is this? This is nothing but a integration. Integration will be taken care by who is? Integration will be taken care by the development team. So development team will taken care by the integration, and the deployment will be taken care by the operation engineer. So what this is? This is nothing but a deployment. What this is? This is a deployment. Who will taken care by the deployment? The deployment will be taken care by the development team. So what hit here? So here, so there is a integration. What we call it as a integration. So integration is nothing but a I. I is nothing but a integration, right? So D, what is D? D is nothing but a deployment. What is not? So D is nothing but a deployment. So in the waterfall model, everything will be manually. So manually developer develop the code and build. Build is nothing but a converting from .java to .jar. So everything will be manual, and the deployment and the operations team also will deploy the code through manually. So manually. So I want to how we can automate this process. How we can automate this process. So right, so we can automate this process, and so initial days the software will be the software. If you have a thought, right? If you so how much time it will take to deliver the software? So 6 to 12 months, right? 6 to 12 months to deliver the softwares. So the futures will be delivered within the 6 to 12 months. For example, every 1 year we oftenly deployment, right? So do we need to automate this process? So we are doing only one time, right? Every year only one time. We don't need to automate this process because of only one time, right? So if you want to do this operation regularly, so then we need to think a automation. So we need to think the automation. That automation is nothing but a continuous deployment and continuous integration. What is that? That thought is nothing but a continuous deployment and continuous integration. CI/CD. What is that? CI/CD is nothing but a continuous integration and a continuous deployment. What is that? CI/CD is nothing but a continuous integration and continuous deployment. So, so before waterfall, in the waterfall model, so we are deploying our application yearly once. We don't need a automation. So from so waterfall model to there is another model comes into the picture. The model called as a agile methodology. So once agile methodology comes into the picture, the deployment will be taken every 15 days, something like once the agile methodology comes into the picture, the sprints are comes into the picture. A sprint is nothing but a, so we need to deploy the code, we need to deploy the feature within 15 minutes. So within 15 days. Okay. So what is the limitations of our waterfall model? Why they are going from waterfall model to agile methodology? In the waterfall methodology, there are some drawbacks. What are those drawbacks? So the drawbacks is nothing but a no working software is produced until the late during the life cycle. Once the application is in testing stage, it is very difficult to go back and change something that was not well throughout in the concept says. High amounts of risk and uncertainty, not a good model for the complex and object-oriented programs, not suitable for the projects where requirements at moderate to high risk and changing. Right, these are the limitations of the waterfall model. Then agile methodology comes into the picture. So what is agile methodology? In the agile methodology, each project is broken up into several iterations. All iterations should be at the same time duration between 2 to 8 weeks. At the end of each iteration, a working product should be delivered. Each iteration, a working product will be produced, right? So what are those? So what are those? Something like 2 to 8 weeks, right? 2 week is nothing but a sprint. So 15 days we need to deliver the we need to deliver the new feature. We need to deliver a new feature is nothing but we need to develop the code and we need to build the code, we need to deploy the code. So right, every 15 days we are developing the code and we are deploying the code. Well, the manual intervention every 15 days we need a manual intervention. So we need to automate this process. So we need to automate this process. So in the limitations of agile methodology, so the development team is saying something like a code works fine in my laptop, and the operation team is saying something like there is something problem with the code, it does not work in the production. There is a big gap between the operation team and development team. So something like what development team is thinking want to change, and operation team is wants to stability. So wants a stability. So we need how we can resolve this issue. How we can resolve this issue? So the issue we can resolve by using the DevOps. What is DevOps? So the solution is the DevOps. So what is a DevOps? A development team and operations team work together and automate the process is nothing but a DevOps. DevOps is not a tool. DevOps is a culture, or DevOps is a methodology. So we can use the tools, development tools and operation tools. The development team and operation team work together and automate the process is nothing but a DevOps. Automate the process is nothing but a DevOps, right? So in the waterfall model, they are using only D and I, integration and deployment. I want a continuous integration and continuous deployment. So where we can achieve this continuous integration and continuous deployment? So we can achieve this continuous integration and continuous deployment by using the DevOps methodology. What is that? DevOps methodology. So in the DevOps methodology, so we need to development team and operations team work together and automate the process is nothing but a DevOps. Guys, understood? What DevOps? So DevOps is not a tool, or DevOps is a culture, or a DevOps is a methodology. So we can use those development team and operations team, and so we can automate the process is nothing but a deployment. Guys, understood? Sachin, Jeffin, Vineet, understood, right? Venkatesh, guys, understood what is DevOps?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, very good. Yeah. So what is DevOps? So DevOps, we can use the DevOps. So the integration. So the CI part and CD part. So we will provide the CI CD solutions, Jenkins, Bamboo, Hoods, and we can use this CI CD and we can plan, code, build. So we can use the tools. So we can use the development tools and we can use the operations tool, and so we can automate this CI and we can automate this CD is nothing but a DevOps. So we can automate this CI/CD is nothing but a DevOps. So what are the DevOps stages? Something like a version control, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. So what is version control? Maintenance the different versions of the code, source code management, and continuous integration, compile, validate, code review, unit testing, integration testing will be taken care by the continuous integration. Continuous delivery is nothing but a deploying the build the application to test the servers, programming UAT, and the continuous deployment is nothing but a deploying the tested application on the prod server for the release. So then continuous monitoring. Continuous monitoring. Now you understood? So Jenkins is the software. Jenkins is a CI/CD software. So whatever the developer develop that code, right? It will automatically take that code and build the code. So how they can build? They can build. They can compile the code, code review, unit testing, integration testing. Finally, so we need to package the var jar. So we need to package the var jar. So in the waterfall methodology, so everything will be taken care of by the developers. There is no Jenkins concept. So once the agile methodology comes into the picture, a CI/CD comes into the picture. So who is providing that CI/CD solutions? Jenkins CI/CD, GitLab CI/CD, GitHub Actions, or something like a AWS also provided CI/CD, Azure also provided CI/CD solutions, right? So Jenkins is a open source and widely used, the Jenkins server. Okay, so Jenkins take care of the building part, and Jenkins is take care of the deployment part. The integration and the deployment will be taken care by the Jenkins. Jenkins. Okay, so in this course, what we will cover? Yeah, now you understood, right? The simple DevOps concept. DevOps is nothing but a CI/CD. So we can automate the process. We can automate the deployment process is nothing but a DevOps. A developer develop that code and so that code will be deployed to the server and so the end user will get the request from Facebook, right? Or something like it will get from the server and the response from the server. So this is the DevOps project. So for this process, for deploying the code process, we need to automate that, so there we are using the DevOps. What is a DevOps? DevOps is the combination of cultural philosophies, practices, and tools. What is that? DevOps is the combination of cultural philosophies, practices, and tools, increases an organization ability to deliver application and services at high velocity, faster pace than organization, using the traditional software development and infrastructure management process. This speed enables your organization to better serve their customers and complete more effectively in the market. So delivery the pipeline. What is DevOps? DevOps delivery the pipeline. So something like a build, test, release, plan, monitor purpose. So we can deliver the pipeline. We can create the pipeline, right? Here build the pipeline, test the pipeline, release the. So we need to build the pipeline. So for the automation, so we are using the DevOps. So what is a DevOps? So in the DevOps, source code, version control, infrastructure, provisioning, configuration management, development, automation, quality control, continuous integration, visualization, logging, containerization, virtualization, and configuration management. So we need to automate this process in the DevOps stages. So understood? So why are they? So plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, monitor. You already know, right? Yeah. So tools we used in the DevOps. What are the tools we used in the DevOps for the planning purpose, coding purpose, building purpose, testing purpose, release purpose, deploy purpose, operate purpose, monitor purpose. So plan purpose, we need to plan sprint, right? Jazelle, Jira. So coding purpose we can use VS Code, Git, GitHub, GitLab, Eclipse. So build purpose we use Maven, Gradle, NPM. Okay. Test purpose we can use TestNG, JUnit, Selenium, Sonar Cube, Playwright. So release purpose Jenkins, Circle, CI, Nexus, JFrog. Deploying purpose Docker, AWS, Kubernetes. Operator purpose Ansible, Chef, Kubernetes. So monitor purpose Splunk, Nagios, ELK. So we can use. These are the trademarks of the all the applications, guys. What is Jenkins CI/CD? So we can get the code from the GitHub, build that code, test that code, and code quality. Then whatever the build, right, it will push it to the Nexus package management. Then it will build it to the server. So this is nothing but a so continuous integration and continuous delivery. So code done, unit test, integrate test, acceptance test, deploy to production. Code done, unit test, integrate, acceptance, deploy to production. So life cycle. Jira, you already know, right? Jira. So Jira is the SDLC method to implement the software application. Jira is a tool to use the management story, sprint, and Scrum process. Jira contains a project development epic and work status, story, and status. So GitHub is nothing but GitHub is a version control system. GitHub helps to crack the code changes. GitHub is used to collaborate the on the code where the create repositories inside the GitHub and contacts with developers missions to push and pull their code. Git is a client software need to be installed in a developer mission to connect and work with the GitHub lab. Work with the GitHub lab. Guys, if you have any doubts, please ask me in the chat or something like or so you can speak out, guys. Okay, Jenkins. So Jenkins is a powerful application that allows to continuous integration and continuous delivery of the project regardless of the platform. So everything is a job in the Jenkins. So pull the code, compile the code, build the code, test the code, deploy the code. So it automates the CI/CD work and release application into the production. Sonar Cube, code quality software, Sonar type, Nexus. Nexus is nothing but an artifactory tool. So we can push the artifact into the Nexus array, JFrog artifact, Docker container. Docker is a container management service. The keywords of the Docker and develop the ship run anywhere. So we can use the Docker, Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a Docker orchestration tool. So we can discuss the Docker, Ansible, Nagios CLK. So we can use these tools and we can automate the process is nothing but a DevOps. Guys understood? Guys understood?
Yes.
Yes, right? Yep. So what is this? So this course is AWS with DevOps. So AWS with the DevOps. And so start date from Monday. So which date, guys? Monday. Today is 12th, right? Monday is nothing but a 14th. So from 14th 04 2025 we will start the class. Okay. Yeah. So class timings. So class timings are something like guys. So who is comfortable time for you guys? I'm a real-time employee. So I want to take so I currently running on the 7 to 8 batch, guys. So we have a 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. batch is free, and evening 7 to 8. Yeah, 7 to 8, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 is free, guys. So evening 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. is free, and we have a 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. IST is free, guys. The class timings will be Monday to Friday. What is that? So Monday to Friday, the class timings are duration. So duration is something like a 60 days, guys. The duration is 60 days plus 1 week. So we'll show you the real-time projects, guys. So what we will cover in this course, we'll cover in this course as a Linux plus AWS plus DevOps tools plus. So we'll cover projects also, guys. And the trainer you already know, right? Mine. So trainer is Mr. Hari. He is a real-time employee, 12 plus years of experience, guys. Okay. And the course mode is online, guys. The course mode is online course. The course mode is online, and the classes will be conducting from the Zoom classes. Okay. And so we'll provide the recordings also, guys. We'll provide the recordings also. So course fees. What is that? Course fee is 20,000, guys. The course fee is 20,000 INR. Okay. So what we will provide in this course? So we'll provide the live classes plus class notes plus the images, whatever we in the images, and the backup videos recorded. So what is that? So we'll cover the recorded videos, guys. The videos backup recorded means recorded videos with free lifetime access. What is that? Free lifetime access. So we can access these videos anytime, anywhere, and we'll discuss. So we'll discuss the doubts on WhatsApp, guys. So we'll discuss the doubts on WhatsApp group on the classroom also, and so every class will give you the assignments also. AWS DevOps batch 55. So in the AWS batch 55 WhatsApp group, we will discuss the doubts and assignments for every week, and we'll provide the tasks also. assignments for every week and day-to-day tasks. Day-to-day task and every session will discuss the real-time videos, guys. Every time, every session will discuss the real-time scenarios. Where exactly? For example, if you're teaching the Linux, right? Where exactly Linux is using in the real time? What are the tasks we are facing in the Linux while teaching the AWS, while doing the DevOps tools projects? So finally, you will understand what is DevOps. So you will get us at least 3, 4+ years of a DevOps knowledge, guys. Understood? Yes, understood. Jeffin, Vinith, understood?
Yes, yes.
Yep. So thank you, guys. So what timings are you preferable, Jeffin and Vinith?
Are you
The
covering
morning.
the Docker and Kubernetes or
Yeah, we'll cover the Docker, Kubernetes,
Terraform?
Terraform. You see here also. So Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, and Jenkins, Cube, GitHub, Maven, Linux, AWS. So
So
we'll
the
cover.
project only Java projects or
We'll show you the Java projects.
no, no, no. Python, Node.js, those set project, how to integrate with DevOps tool.
Which project?
Java, not
Yeah, we'll
Java,
show you.
Python.net.
Why? Whatever the project. For example, if you are using Java or if you are using .NET or if you are using Python. So we'll show you
Mm.
Python and Java. It will
Okay,
be very easy. It will be very easy. So when we doing in the Docker file, right? So whatever the
mm.
language you are using it, no matter which language we can use it.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, good.
Yep. Any doubts? Vineet, Venkatesh, Varalakshmi, Jeffin. Any doubts, guys? We are good, right? So when we can start? So which time is our preferable, guys? Either morning or evening, guys. Jeffin, Vineet. Jeffin, are you comfortable at the morning or evening?
I will let you know because I'm also working, so I'll let you know.
You are also working as a real-time employer.
Yes, yes.
So you are working as a
I'm a Java developer.
okay Java developer. Okay. Thank you.